So what is a regenerative accountant? A regenerative accountant is someone who carries the commitment to prioritize people and planet over profit. They actively exhibit and continue to cultivate a set of attitudes, behaviors, knowledge, and skills so that they can have a positive impact in the world. And I'm going to go through each of those categories for you. So the attitudes of a regenerative accountant. They have an attitude of being a possibilist, someone who believes in a regenerative and sustainable future, and that the more beautiful world that our heart knows is possible. Charles Eisenstein. They are community-centric. They recognize that the community's well-being serves the individual as well. They are innovative. They have the willingness to be creative and experimental, right? We don't have all the answers yet or solutions. We want participation. We want creativity and innovation. They are relational. So they appreciate and recognize that we are all connected to each other and all living beings. They're holistic and they look for root causes of issues and take the whole planet into account. And they are humane. So they have an attitude of consideration, caring, being in right relationship, and recognizing the responsibility to the collective. So they're considerate and responsive to people's unique needs. They're compassionate and empathetic. They're supportive of joy and work-life harmony. They're coachable, have a growth mindset, and they foster freedom and accountability. And last but not least, they are sufficient. They understand that by generously sharing resources collectively, there will be more than enough in our beautiful and abundant world. So a regenerative accountant will take these behaviors, right? Have these actions. So they will firstly steward positive change. So they take intentional action in alignment with their deeper values, even if it's challenging. They also treat the planet, humans, and all living beings as an extension of themselves with compassion and mindfulness, while also witnessing and celebrating the unique experience of each being. And they take the initiative to experiment, fail, and try again in the pursuit of positive sum game solutions. And number 2, they practice communication and collaboration. So they exercise curiosity, deep listening of needs of their communities, and they actively seek ways to support those communities' well-being. And they engage in collaborative endeavors to be the change they want to see in a community-focused way. So can't do it all ourselves, right? We need to have groups like this to help us in our efforts. And lastly, they seek personal growth. So they question limiting beliefs with an openness to changing perspectives, and they pursue self-development and mental fitness education. Next slide, please. And this is just a slide that was already shared, but a regenerative accountant has knowledge and an understanding in each of these pillars. So these pillars are primarily what we focus on with our education that Matthew will talk about later. Next slide, please. And yeah, the skills go with the behaviors, right? So in order for you to take the action, you need to have the skills of being a change agent. So learning how to tend to needs of others, themselves, and the environment, how to practice harm reduction and remediation. They need to learn how to plan for impactful action and question, evaluate, and experiment, and how to lead, inspire, and educate others in regenerative topics. To be an effective person who practices communication and collaboration, there needs to be skills in being a storyteller about the future and money, telling a different story, being intentional with language, using asset-based approaches. Ingrid could talk about that some other time. Listen deeply and with curiosity, and have difficult conversations. And lastly, to stay committed to personal growth, there must be skills created in cultivating self-awareness and mindfulness, having a practice committed to decolonizing consciousness and being flexible, adaptable, being able to transform, and being resilient and able to learn from mistakes. Yeah, and so when we adopt these attitudes, skills, knowledges, behaviors, we create an impact. And so as regenerative accountants, our impact is that we change the money story to one that puts values over profits. We influence politics to honor local and global needs. We build healthy and humane workplaces. We increase justice, equity, diversity, and inclusion in the accounting profession. And we do business humanely in regenerative alliance with local and global ecosystems.